Okay, they're going to be practicing with a shinai. This is this is made out of 4 slats of bamboo, split and then tied together with string and held together with leather. Okay. The back, the string, represents the back of the sword, the non-cutting edge. Okay? So there's a cutting edge and a non-cutting edge. The string on this represents the non-cutting edge. Okay? Now, how did we get to Kendo? Well, people used to fight with these, a real sword, to develop technique. People get injured if you really try and practice hard and are serious about your practicing, or they don't practice well. So the next thing they went to was a solid wood sword, bokken or bokuto. You can still hurt somebody severely with this. It breaks bones. You can kill someone if you hit them in the head. So the next development was to move to a shinai, to split bamboo. There were several of these throughout history. One had many slats in it, had leather covering the whole thing. This is the modern version. Okay? So, how is Kindle practice? Actually, good. Great. Okay. There's certain points in Kendo that you're allowed to score on. It isn't just anywhere. It has to be in very specific areas. And you have to strike with this part of the shinai. This is considered the monouchi, the first third of the sword. This is the sweet spot in the sword, the area that does the best cutting. Okay? Even though it's sharp, from here back to here, this is the sweet spot. This is the best area for cutting. Okay? So everything that's scored has to be cut with this part of the sword. Okay? The first point is men, the key, big men. So, what you do? One more large man. Okay. So that's a large technique, striking them in. It has to be between above each ear, preferably right down the center. If it's intentional and the referees can see that it's intentional, they will take things that are off to the side. Okay? Small men, sashi men. So that was large technique. This is a small technique. We're used to practicing on a wood court, and this is pretty solid. Okay? So the next is kote, the forearm. The right hand controls the sword. The left hand controls the power. So if you can injure or take off your opponent's right hand, you've created a problem for him. So let's leave it at that. Okay? So, kote. So you see a big technique, big swing, which is what the beginners learn with, and then they start learning how to make it smaller and smaller, but still have enough force to cut if you were trying to cut. So next is do, or the body. So those are the 3 primary targets. The 4th is the ski. So can you guys face the audience? This is the only thrust in Kendo. And it has to go to this area here. It has to land right here. Okay? So this is your whole target. And it's from about 6-7 feet away. So usually ski is only done by high-ranking people because it's dangerous. The shinai, if you miss, it'll go up into the men and leave nice abrasions on your neck, and it doesn't look good when you go to work the next day and have these red abrasions all over your neck. Not to mention it hurts. You want to try the ski? Let's see you try. Okay. Usually somebody his age would not be allowed to do this. Okay. It's an demo, so we're going to allow him to do it. Nice. Good. That was actually very good. Okay? One more. Good. There you go. Okay. So now that you've seen the basic points, I'm going to start with ski and explain a little bit further. The ski would not be a good and valid point if it didn't rock him back. So if his opponent came up and just went point and it touches, the shimpan, the referees are just going to stand there. No good. Okay, they're going to ignore it. Okay. So a ski has to rock the opponent back. All of the other techniques also have a lot of criteria to where the point will be taken. So in other martial arts, some of you have seen karate, taekwondo. All of those points are taken at the moment of strike, moment of impact. So if this is my opponent and I come in and I punch him and I make contact here, that's when the point's taken. In Kendo, since this isn't a percussive martial art, it's cutting, you're using a sword, they expect to see a lot more there. And we're going to use the metaphor of taking a cookie out of a cookie jar when you're not supposed to as our example. So when you're wanting to steal a cookie or take a cookie out of the cookie jar, you can't let your mom see you go into the kitchen, right? She can't know you're there, right? So am I there? So the part of that in Kendo is this guy has to enter into his space while he's flat-footed. He doesn't realize what he's doing. So you enter in. Okay. So once he's inside, now he has to have good enough technique to strike either the min, the kote, or the do correctly with the cutting edge of the shinai on this part of it. Okay. So slowly min, and then stop when it connects. Okay. Good, okay? So he's practiced good zanshin, concentration as he's coming in, okay? Good sime, moving into his opponent, causing his opponent to create an opening. He strikes the point correctly on the first third of the sword, and then, okay, so let's go back to the metaphor. You take the cookie jar, or the lid off the cookie jar, you can't make any noise. You have to have good enough technique to not make any noise in the kitchen, right? You have to get the cookie out of the cookie jar. Once the cookie's out of the cookie jar, do you stand in the kitchen and eat it? No. Your mom's gonna catch it, right? So you have to get out of the kitchen to your room if you want to enjoy the cookie. The same thing here. Once he comes in, so submit. Okay. Then strike the point, and then he has to go through without getting struck and without his opponent kind of countering it. So that's what he has to do to take the point. Now on top of that, what else is he doing? He has to call the point that he is hitting at the moment he strikes it. So not only does he have to sit here and make an opening, strike it correctly, he has to use ki, his voice, and call the point that he's striking. And then get through it. So if it's min, kote, do. Okay? Another thing, you're hearing at the same time the shinai strike. The referees are looking for that. You have to have ki, kin, tai. Ki, your energy, your spirit. Kin, the sword. Tai, your body. All at the same time have to strike the min. So ki is seen by ki. Kin, the sword has to strike at the same time. The body posture and footwork have to all be at the same time. And the shimpan, the referees are looking for all of this. So beginners, when they come into a Kendo match, will sometimes go 3 minutes, 3 full minutes, no points at all.